ascending the world tree deep in the flotations of space, hand over hand, my fists clasping wretched spiky barks. I close my eyes for a sense of relief. I see colors. Greetings, chromatic warriors. John Blanche and the army painter have clasped gauntlets to bring you a unique set of colors. Spread across 2 volumes, you will find a variety of new speed paints, metallics, washes, and of course, some new Fanatic colors. There's even some Zorn palette colors to be found within these volumes. But today, I'll be limiting myself to volume 1. I am borrowing the color black from my regular range and heavy metal from set 2. But the idea here is to work within some sort of restrictions and talk about composing a color scheme. When people are asking me about their own color schemes, I serve them with this prompt. What is your favorite color? Green. But let's try to be a little bit more specific. How about seafoam green? From within the contents of volume 1, I'll combine moonbeam yellow, blighted green, and a healthy portion of ivory white. Every color that I choose after that will be in complement to my main selection. So what I have for that main is a lighter tone. So the first thing I'm going to be asking is, what areas can I make dark on the model? You want to consider the contrast of dark versus light objects to break things up and make them interesting. And also you can consider adding a temperature to that, the composition of warm versus cold objects. And this can crisscross. It doesn't have to always be dark and cold. And maybe just one more neutral tone as well. I want a very modern industrial feel for this, so I think some ivory white will fit in nicely. I'll start the model off by painting the base. Why not cover the ground? It's going to be a mixture of banshee brown and black plus moonbeam yellow. You can see me wet blending these together, creating a warmer temperature towards the front of the base. Paint the robot with a nice even coat of that seafoam green mixture. I like to block things in before I start fully rendering it. This is a way to test my overall color composition. It's kind of a low-risk maneuver. And before I invest too much time into getting a nice solid base coat of that seafoam green, I want to take care of the undercarriage. I could just block everything out with silver, but I want to make it a little more visually interesting, so I'll try to pick out some of the understructure with ironclad gray, just to break things up. It's all about that industrial feeling. Next up, I'm going to pick out the shoulder pads and the shins with the darkness. I'll add a little bit of ivory white into that to lighten it up, and you can see I'm not trying to make it very smooth. I'm just trying to zone in on those specular highlights. But what this does is house the main color with some dark objects, and they're also cold objects, which will pull it apart from the dark base. A longer step, I'll have to shade in the bot, and this is, I tend to focus on like the main objective. I should really pay more attention to the rest of the figure, but we'll get through this. I'm just going to mix up a deeper shade of seafoam green by adding more moonbeam yellow and blighted green into that original mixture. Things are looking good. I like the main colors that are established, but I like to break things up a little bit and add some brighter spot colors. I'll be using ivory white, moonbeam yellow, and emperor gold to pick out various details. You have all the little screens and lamps will be done with the yellow. Put a little badge on his shoulder with the ivory white, and yeah, just a little bit of gold where necessary. Decent. Now I like to shred up a little piece of a sponge. I'll add a little bit of water to that, dip it into the ironclad gray, lightly tap this around on the robot. I want it to look well worn. This is for John Blanche after all, so a little bit of ruggedness will be very fitting. Just remember on this step though that less is more. The more damage you add, the more work you're going to have to do later, because you want to underline every little one of these chips, to create that expressed chip of paint. I'll quickly dry brush the base with a mix of ivory white and moonbeam yellow, just trying to lift up a little bit of that grit as I prepare the model for a wash. And yes, a brand new wash, Grimdark Shadow. I can't quite say what color this is exactly. Swamp water? I'm thinning it down 50-50. Half water, half Grimdark Shadow. There's brown in there, a little green, it's very dark. I'm constantly mixing this color up when I create my own washes, so now it's in a bottle. Thanks, John Blanche. Now for the final highlights. I hope this video on color composition has informed you well, my friend. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you know where those buttons are. But I'm just mixing a little bit of ivory white in with every one of those foundational colors, appropriately brightening it and highlighting. I'm adding edge highlights, picking out those little chips, and here and there I want to blend up, you know, a little glint, little specular highlight. This model is always called to me. It's a reference to the very early days of 40K. You could, I was very young at this time, but I believe you could purchase robots for your army and you had to pre-program them before the game. Write out its, 6 turns of actions. But it's really cool to see them make this for Blackstone Fortress. It harkens back to the days of old, just like Mr. Blanche. And not every model will be a masterpiece, but color composition is a skill worth strengthening. And like I said, there's a second volume as well, adding even more colors, some lovely terracotta tones. So I'm going to paint an Orc War Boss with this. I'm going to paint my favorite faction with colors designed by one of my favorite artists. So a big thank you to John Blanche for teaming up with the Army Painter and making this. That's an easy thing to do, right? But I am honestly excited about this. It's really cool to see. So, fun! I hope you pick up these paints and enjoy them yourselves. Until the next time we meet again, my friend. There it is. Remain unchained.